Hey people, this is Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist. Do stay for this one. There is so much to unpack, you don't want to miss it. Here we see Ruby Franke. You're probably aware of this woman and what she was involved in, but let's focus here for a second in this image. We have mom there with her child. They're both reading. She's straight out of the hairdresser, looking her best. Her son, and yeah, this is a wholesome image, right? Well, of course not. You probably know where this is going. This woman has been arrested. She has or had a YouTube channel called 8 Passengers, where she exposed her family for everyone to see. 2 million subscribers, lots of money, guys. There's lots of money to be made when you exploit children, right? And she was great at that, right? Yeah, there you go. Ruby Franke and 8 Passengers, the rise and fall of a parenting influencer. Criminal. She's a criminal. She's not just any criminal, she's a monster. She is the worst kind of possible human being. The kind that exploits and abuses physically and mentally, abuses her own children for money, for fame. Just let that sink in for a minute. This has been all over the news now, but stay for this video because I'll just show you how there's so many levels to this that it just blows your mind. Look, this started with a call to 911.
I think he's been detained. He's obviously covered in wounds.
We're taking a closer look at the case of Ruby Franke, the YouTuber mom now accused of child abuse. For the first time, we're hearing the chilling 911 call and emergency radio communications after Franke's son escaped from her business partner's home and was found emaciated with open wounds.
He asked us to call the police. So he's very afraid.
That 911 call came in just before 11 a.m. on August 30th. A neighbor in Ivins, Utah, a remote area about 4 hours south of Salt Lake City, reported a 12-year-old boy showed up at his house asking for help.
911, the address of your emergency. Tell me exactly what's happened.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help.
The caller then references problems at the neighbor's home before explaining the boy arrived looking emaciated with duct tape around his wrists and ankles.
We know there's been problems at this neighbor's house.
Strict mothering tactics came under fire long before her arrest.
And my kids are literally starving. I hesitate to say this because it's going to sound like I'm like a mean barbarian, but I told the kids, I said, I'm not even going to let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done.
In the past, Franke had addressed critics, saying she wouldn't stop mothering her way.
So mothering her way is actually whoring her way, but it's not even whoring because this woman doesn't deserve the decency of being called a whore. It would be a lot more decent for her to go naked on OnlyFans and make money her own way, exposing her own body and her own person. No, she chooses to make money by not only exposing, we'll talk about that later, but no, by torturing her own children. And this is common. This is something that she was uploading to YouTube for years now. She had almost over 2 million subscribers. She was banking on this. She was making a ton of money on this by torturing and exposing her children, right? Now, this is an extreme case in which she was openly abusing her children, telling you how she was starving them and laughing. But because she does it with a certain angle and she does it with a certain audience, she just sounds like a tough parent. Yeah, that's how we used to do it in the old days. Some fat fuck in a bunker in someone's cellar may nod along with, no, you fool. That's not how you treat children. You don't starve your children to death. But there's unfortunately a lot of people, even within our own community, even within preppers, conservatives, more of the right wing. Oh yeah, that's gonna teach it. Yeah, spare the rod and all of that crap. No. There's being a good parent and there's being a piece of shit. This woman was a piece of shit. This woman is a piece of shit. And the idea that she was just tough parenting, that is something that appeals to so many people that are just too stupid to realize when they see abuse unfolding in front of their eyes. She was not being tough. She was abusive. She was torturing, tying up your kids, having them have wounds because of the bindings, because you tie them up. You're a monster. And unfortunately, this is very common. And it's not just this extreme case, but there's so much to it. Where is the government? So much talking about, well, and this is very typical of us. We don't like the government, right, guys? No, of course not. We don't want that intrusive government telling us how to raise our kids. Well, you know what? Maybe we should have a conversation. What is exactly what you don't like any kind of government? You want to live in honor, in pure anarchy? That's what anarchists want. Anarchists want complete lack of God. You don't have any kind of rules. You don't have any kind of laws. You don't have, any kind of protection. I don't want Big Brother either. No, not at all. I want a small, affordable, efficient government that does the things that matter, the things that are important. I want someone that is organizing the things like roads, like bridges, like taking care of certain aspects of society and living in a civilized country and city and town where things work. I want that. I'm not gonna say I don't want that to happen. Yes, I don't want the corruption. I don't want the Big Brother. I don't want the bloated monster that the government is pretty much everywhere. But I do want certain things to work. I want clear rules. And you know what I want above everything else? I want the most vulnerable of them all to be protected by that government. And the most vulnerable of them all is not the green-haired lesbian, is not the trans, is not the mommy that wants to abuse her children. No, it's the children. It's the kids. The most vulnerable of them all are the smallest ones that we have, right? Of all of these, the most vulnerable is the smallest kid. And if you take this to another level, the most vulnerable of them all is maybe the one that is inside this woman at some point. And when that woman says, yeah, I'm going to be killing that person because it's inside my body, no. I want the government to say, no, you know what? You cannot murder someone because he's very tiny, he's very vulnerable. That's the kind of thing I would really like to see going on with a government that really does a job that is supposed to from the get-go, from the start, protecting the most vulnerable of them all, children, very little babies, even so little babies that they're still not out in the open yet. That would be very refreshing. But that's the kind of conversation YouTube doesn't like. That's the kind of conversation women like these don't like. They like the idea of abusing their kids. And regarding abusing their kids, you don't have to take it this far. You just can't do the same thing by doing this. Let me make this perfectly clear. Any channel that is showing little children, any channel that is consistently showing children under the age of 18, they are abusing those children. Why? Because they're doing something that cannot be taken back. They're exposing those kids in ways that is going to be affecting their lives forever, permanently. Oh, but I want any YouTube family that you watch, you're watching child abuse unfold. Oh, but they treat them well. Oh, but they're nice to them. No, they're not nice to them. They're using them. Go out and get a fucking job yourself, you lazy bastards. This woman here, you know what? If you want to go about shaking your ass, do it in an OnlyFans website. If you want to pretend you have some kind of moral authority, because that's yet another layer. And guys, people fall for this. They eat it up. You guys watching this video probably fall for this very often. You know how many times I had people with a holier-than-thou attitude, the so-called Christians, the so-called Mormons, the so-called Catholic. Oh, but I'm Catholic. Okay, yeah, I'm Catholic myself. You know what? What does that mean to me? I don't even know you. You're saying you're Catholic? What is it you actually do? You're saying what does that even mean? I don't give two flying fucks. I do care that you're telling me that right now, because I do know Catholics that are absolute pieces of shit. And they say the thing they say the most, you know what it is? I'm Catholic. I'm a good person. No. You may be a complete piece of crap, and you're a Catholic, Mormon, or whatever other religion there is. I know some of the worst, and I know this from a very close person. The ones that they go to this church and this other place and this, yeah, but I know what you are, right? And you know what I know also? I know that with my friend that I kind of knew that he was Catholic, and when I asked him, what are you doing this holiday? Oh, no, I'm just going missioning. Or, oh, what? Yeah, because there's this poor town over there with, oh, that's cool, yeah. This guy went every damn year to help poor people, and he said nothing about it. He didn't brag about it. He didn't tell anyone. I only learned because I asked him a very specific question, because if not, he would have kept it to himself. That's the kind of people that have true moral values, not the ones that are always, you know how many messages I've gotten from people that, oh, but you can trust me, I'm a Christian. I don't give a rat's ass what you say you are. I care about what you do. Listen to this woman and her holier-than-thou bullshit.
And she says, well, what's moral for you isn't going to be moral for other parents. You know, you're complaining about this song, but I've got 30 other parents that just think it's wonderful. And I said, it's what's moral according to God.
Joining me to discuss.
You lazy, disgusting bitch. How dare you? But this is the kind of thing that people fall. Oh, she's so moral, Fernando. She's complaining about TikTok. I complain about TikTok being crap as well. So we're on the same page. No, we're not. I don't know if we are or not. Based on what you're doing with your children, we sure as hell are not on the same page. But you know what? Get your nice bleached teeth taken care of. Go to the hairdresser and, starve your kids to death. There's someone that will fall for your bullshit. Drag your ass to an OnlyFans website. Start doing porn on YouTube or whatever the fuck it is. That's going to be more decent than doing this. But people fall for it. They think that she's moral. Oh, this is the kind of conservative, traditional values. She's just hard on her kids. She's just doing that tough love. And people are so stupid, they actually pay this woman for parenting lessons. That's right. This is her and her associate selling you classes for $200 a pop on being a good parent. Feel like you have to yell to be heard? Are your children more connected to friends and their screens than they are to you? Okay, here comes Ruby and Jody. She's gonna be teaching you how to be a good parent. You see where this is going? You see what this is? You associate the image of someone, a tailored image of someone. You associate this to success. You think that this is something that is worth imitating. This is worth striving towards. They sell you this bullshit image and you think, oh, she's pretty. Her kids are beautiful. They have the mansion. They have the house. They have the money. Look at all of this. And that's what you're being told by you. It's not just this channel. It's all of the other bullshit channels as well. Again, any family channel is child abuse. Using a kid to work on any kind of media, entertainment is already delicate enough as it is. You have child actors that blame their parents. You have child actors that say that they were only used by their parents. This is the worst form of abuse that you can do to a child. Using that kid instead of working your own lazy ass yourself. Go get a job, you lazy hag. Instead of using your children to make money. You can make a lot of money using children, guys. I know this. I have a few YouTube channels myself, in case you haven't noticed. You know what? The moment in which I decided to do this, what I'm already doing, this was a conversation with my wife. This was a family decision. You're going to be exposing yourself. You're going to be out there for people to see, to criticize, to talk about. Maybe someone will one day see you on the street and know who you are. That's going to be an important decision. How far did I take it? Well, you see here in my channel, I don't show my family. I don't show more than this. It's going to be this. Few guns, little things here, there. I don't show around my house. I don't show where I certainly don't show my children or my wife, which would have made me a lot of money. I can carry. This was actually, we talked about this with my wife many years ago before it got to this point. We talked, we have these beautiful kids. They're so good looking. You're so good looking. My wife is beautiful. You could use this to make money. No, you would be whoring to make money. That's the truth. You're going to be shocked. And even if you dress up a little bit nicer, because it's not just, and yes, you have the more cheaper ones that go with, they have their 20-year-old girlfriend butt naked shooting a gun. Yes. Oh, of course, we know what you're doing. But also just exposing yourself like this, exposing your kids. I won't even expose myself to this point. Imagine doing that to your own kids. I want to retain some of my privacy. And because of what I do, this is still very much survival and preparedness that I'm talking about. I don't show because of security. I don't show because of, yes, you have to keep some kind of privacy to be a person, to be an individual, to have some intimate family life. You have to preserve that. If you expose all of that for money, you're sacrificing way too much. And if you start showing your kids, your wife, and yes, that's, if your wife has a YouTube channel, that's perfectly fine. Now, exposing the intimacy of a family, having a camera on a kid all day long, do you have any idea? Of course you don't, unless you haven't, just doing YouTube videos like I do, you have no idea how demanding it is, how much time, how tired you get at times. I'm just tired right now just because of talking. Imagine if I'm a 5-year-old and I have my pen. Go on, Fernando, open that present. We have to do today's video. Open that present right now. No, Dad, I don't want yet another damn present. I don't want to open anything else. Oh, we have to do the video, right? Exploiting your kids. That's also exploiting. Any YouTube channel involving children is exploitation. It's a lot worse than a child actor, which is bad enough as it is. And you can have a point of, well, yes, a child has the right, and there's also the market there, which you need kids for movies to be successful many times, and it's a lot of money involved. But you're talking about child labor. This is child exploitation. Any YouTuber will tell you how hard it is already. It's one of the toughest jobs. It's not easy as sometimes people think. Having a child do this job that I'm doing right now, that's child exploitation, no matter what they're talking about, even if he's opening a present every single day, because you're going into the intimacy of his life. You're stripping away something that he could only reasonably consent once he's 18 years old or 20 or wherever the age of consent is, wherever you are. These kids don't have that age. That much I can tell you. And you know what's even worse? The damage is not on that kid only, it's on everyone else that feels that this is real, that falls for this bullshit. A poor kid in Colombia or Nicaragua or Argentina or in the United States, that's even I would say that's even worse for a poor kid in the United States that watches these families and think, oh, they have so much cool stuff. Some of those channels where they're opening presents all the time. Come on, open it, kid. They, oh, look, Dad, he has all of those cool toys. He has everything, and I have nothing. The false sense of happiness and satisfaction and enjoying your life. That kid is not enjoying what he's doing, and the kid that is watching it is not enjoying the comparison with his own non-constant opening of presents in his life. So the false idea that this is something to be celebrated, this is something of an achievement. And how many times have you seen some of these Instagram pictures where they're going on holidays here, there, money, cars, mansions? Oh, that's so cool. Well, it's all bullshit. It's all lies. How many of these women, young, beautiful women in yachts, are just, pimping themselves willingly? And that's okay. If you're an adult, you want to do that, do whatever it is you want with your sorry ass, right? But don't be stupid. Don't be naive as to think that that's real. That's not life. Life is what happens in the rest of the time when you're not taking a photo of a Kodak moment. You have a bunch of those, great for you. I like to keep those to myself, to my family, with the intimacy. And yes, sure, you have great moments, but the moment in which you start seeing someone that is pimping that as a way of doing a business, be extremely suspicious of what's behind that. This is one of the extreme stories. This is one of the extreme stories where you see everyone smiling, everyone pretending to be something they're not. This woman is pretending to be a saint. She's pretending to be a moral, religious person, and she has her kids dressed in a certain way because she wants to sell that bullshit. That, she's just a Mormon from Utah that's just conservative and successful, and she has her business and her channel with millions of people. No, she's in fact a damn monster. And these kids that you see, they're smiling, they're suffering. Okay, people, be smart about this, because it's not just the green-haired lunatic that you have to worry about. It's this stuff as well. The false sense of moral attitude, the false sense of what's decent and what's not. Okay, and the false sense of what's actually being successful and happy and high achiever. This is something that causes a lot of damage, especially to the younger generations, to kids. Kids are particularly vulnerable to this crap, but I will even say that many adults fall for this all the time. Okay, and this is a challenge. This is as much of a challenge as it is when you have to deal with a woke agenda. And yet another layer of this. How much of this is accidental? Why is YouTube allowing this? I don't even want to start searching because I know there's a ton. How many family channels? How many, more conservative or moral or decent family channels you have up there that you watch? How many of those that you see on TV? 30 plus, whatever bullshit? All of that crap. All of that crap, pretending to be conservative, if you're conservative, you don't do this to your children. If you're a good person, you don't do this to your children, or maybe even to yourself. You want to do it to yourself as a consenting adult? Okay, do whatever it is you want with yourself. Don't get children involved in this. But the damage, is it just about money, YouTube? Is it just because it makes a lot of money? Is it also because there's a certain political agenda that just as much as the green-haired one, just as much as the woke agenda, this is also knowingly destroying family values, real family values, the ones these people don't have, the ones this man, where is this stupid husband of her? Somewhere over there. Yeah, he left the picture eventually. The husband is not in jail, which I think is disgusting. I think that the husband, the parent of this, the father, if we can call it that, the father of these kids should be in jail as well. Where were you, man? What were you doing where your children were being abused like this? There it is. Where was this guy, the father of these kids, when they were being abused? The father is not in jail. He should be. You not only failed as a man, as a human being, as a parent, not protecting your kids, you benefited from it. You made money exploiting your kids. You made money exploiting your kids in the more violent manner. No, as if it wasn't bad enough, stripping away their privacy, their own life, their own intimacy. As if that wasn't bad enough, you knew your wife was starving them, tying them up, torturing them, and you're walking free. Screw that. You should be in jail as well. Guys, this is yet another battle we have. We have to be very careful about what we end up falling for. Be smart, be clever, question everything. See you next time.